Welcome in, everybody, to Believe in the Wolfpack. I am your host, Luke Nichols, and this is brought to you by Believe Network. This will be the NC State podcast, your number one source for all things NC State football, basketball, and even recruiting news. I'm very into recruiting. I love looking ahead. I love seeing kind of what the future of NC State football and basketball can be. So we'll be talking about that a lot. Maybe not so much today. We got a lot to go over today. But first things first, I just want to thank Believe Network for allowing me and giving me this opportunity to bring back the NC State podcast. I'm so excited for it. I'm just ready to get into it. The last real few days, and especially 24 hours for NC State and the college sports world, have been a whirlwind. So let's just jump right into it. NC State, it was announced yesterday after the big college football playoff announcement, which we will also get to. It was announced that NC State will play in the Pop-Tart Bowl, the very first Pop-Tart Bowl. They will take on Kansas State. I believe it's December 30th, I want to say. They'll take on Kansas State. Kansas State this year, 8-4 on the year, 6-3 in the conference, in the Big 12 conference. NC State, 9-3, of course, and 6-2 in their conference. NC State finished 18th in the college football playoff rankings because, AP poll kind of goes out the window towards the end of the year. And Kansas State finished 25th in the final college football playoff ranking. So NC State, they ended very strong. 5 straight wins to close out the year. A good win against North Carolina, taking down Drake May, the most likely top 5 pick in this upcoming draft, I want to say. Top 5 feels safe, at least in my mind. And really, overall, they hung in a lot of games this year. They had the Duke game where he only put up 3, but for the most part, you were picked 4th in the preseason poll. You finish, I believe it was 3rd in the ACC. You finished 3rd in the ACC, so not bad. You have the Pop-Tart Bowl coming up. It's the very first Pop-Tart Bowl. It used to be, I believe it was the Champs Bowl years ago, the Foot Locker Bowl, but with all the bowl games nowadays, I mean, who's keeping track? I'm still pretty sure that there's it's the San Diego County Credit Union Tax Slayer Bowl, Cheez-It Bowl. It's ridiculous. It's way too many names. It's just keep it simple. Pop-Tarts Bowl. You get the Pop-Tarts Bowl. You also have a mascot who's going to be made as an actual Pop-Tart that you're going to get to eat if you win the game. So that's a very good incentive if I'm NC State to, try to get a win here. Just it's ridiculous. I love it, though. I love it. Like, how did the Cheez-It Bowl not think of this? But the Pop-Tarts Bowl thinking ahead here. You win the game, go take a bite out of the mascot. I'm hoping that he's one of my few favorite flavors that I will discuss later in this show, maybe towards the end, because it's a Pop-Tart Bowl. I got to list off. I got to give you my favorite Pop-Tarts here. But that game's coming up. Being a bowl game, you never know who's going to play, who's going to sit. I would imagine that most of the team will play, but we heard yesterday already that a few guys around the country are going to sit out of their bowl games, like Caleb Williams, most likely first overall pick in the NFL draft. He will be sitting in his game. And even earlier today, we had some transfer news. So there's already a few players that announced that they will be transferring. I imagine that this not really disqualifies them, but we can just assume that they will not be in the Pop-Tarts Bowl playing for NC State. MJ Morris, the quarterback that started a few games this year, he's announced that he's transferring. And even the way that he put it, he basically said that there's no bad blood between him and NC State and his coaches and his teammates and the program overall. They just wanted to go in a different direction, and so did he. So it's pretty much a mutual parting, almost in a sense of like in the NFL or the NBA, if a player gets bought out of their contract. That's kind of what I'm equaling this to, and that's how I'm thinking of it, because it didn't feel like, ooh, I don't want to be here anymore, I'm out of here. It was more just like, I want to, test the free agency waters and kind of go on from here, which that brings me to a point that I was going to make, but I might as well do it now. The transfers in college football now, It's so much more. It's so much more significant. There's so many more transfers. You can play within a year. It's so easy to transfer and just hop on a team within the next year. And it's like there's no repercussions whatsoever. It's pretty much the college version of free agency, which honestly I kind of love. With all the changes in the NCAA and with college football specifically, I like seeing the transfers because there could be a guy that, transfers from wherever. Let's say he transfers from Alabama and he goes to LSU. And it's like, "Oh, great. Cool. He's going to go to LSU. Can't wait to see him next year." Then you got to wait a full year. It used to be you have to wait a full year. That was terrible. Nowadays you can transfer and boom, pick up right there. You can like Caleb or not Caleb Williams. Uyuglele from Oregon State. He's going to transfer again. Wherever he goes, he can pick up with that team immediately. And even Caleb Williams a few years ago when he transferred from Oklahoma to USC, he picked that up right away. So I love it. I think it's a great idea. Best of luck to MJ Morris. People are already speculating Georgia Tech and Nebraska, but that's just because when he was the 4-star prospect out of high school, the final three, I saw it on Twitter earlier today. The old picture of his final three that had NC State, Georgia Tech, and Nebraska. Just from an MJ Morris fan and just hoping that he succeeds wherever he goes from that standpoint, I would like to see him, I don't, now don't get me wrong. I doubt these are going to be the only two options, but Nebraska would be interesting with Matt Rule out there. This year it was kind of tough to try and really get a good first year under your belt if you're Matt Rule. For any first year college coach, it's always tough to, really start out, hit the ground running and, we're going to, be dominant year one. So it might take more time. And we saw Matt Rule at Temple nearly beating Notre Dame that one year, getting the Baylor job, succeeding at Baylor. The NFL, a different beast regardless. He was a coach in the NFL. Impressive. Back at Nebraska now, give him another year, give him 2 years, and I think Nebraska in the new Big Ten, I think Nebraska will be just fine out there in the Big Ten if they keep the Big Ten West years down the line. Nothing is certain in college sports anymore. But yeah, MJ Morris, one of the transfers. And then we also have, leaving the Wolfpack, Jaleel Davis, Christopher Scott, and Joshua Crabtree. So best of luck to all of them. You never know if there's going to be more guys that announced. I mean, today was really the first day. Sunday was the first day, I guess. So we're still very early in this kind of transfer period of guys who entering the portal, guys who are, thinking, never mind, I'm going to come back. Because there's always a chance that these guys could just come right back. You never know. And at the same time, NC State, the Wolfpack isn't going to be the only team that's losing players. Everybody's entering the portal nowadays. Like I mentioned, Dylan Gabriel just entered the portal from Oklahoma. There was the report today, trust me. I got excited just thinking about it, how Quinn Ewers is supposed to be staying at Texas with Arch Manning sitting there right behind him. And even this year, how Arch Manning was listed as technically he was listed as the third-string quarterback. Shocking. Only a freshman, but still, you got the last name Manning, you kind of automatically get at least QB2 in a sense. But I was thinking, maybe, you never know. Maybe he just jumps around. Maybe comes here. Who knows? But I was just thinking maybe he jumps ship and goes somewhere else, like how Dylan Gabriel just left. Like I just said, maybe Arch Manning sees, Oklahoma, great offense. Let me head over there. I can start right away. Whereas Texas being in the college football playoff this year, and if they do, in fact, get Ewers back next year, they would be crazy not to start him. It doesn't matter who you have behind you. You had your most successful year since the Vince Young era, I want to say. Yeah, since the Vince Young era, and you get your quarterback back, you have to start him no matter what. It doesn't matter who's behind him. It doesn't matter. You have to give him that starting job again. So I'm very interested to see who NC State can kind of get through the portal, who can, who wants to join, because it was a great year for NC State football. You get a bowl game, you only lose 3 games, you go 6-2 in the conference. I mean, that's a fantastic year. That is a fantastic year. And there's going to be more teams coming to the ACC, so maybe I believe it's um, the realignment is still confusing to me, so I may leave a team out. But Stanford, Cal, and I know I'm missing one, but Stanford and Cal, I know are the two kind of bigger names. I want to say coming to the ACC. So maybe being in the ACC, they get a bigger draw, maybe less of a draw. So again, like I said, it's still very early. We have plenty of time to figure this out. And even then, already have some big recruits that have committed. They got 3 4-star recruits and a bunch of 3-stars. And again, you can go look on 24/7 yourself, but I don't really want to get into too many specifics because just like the transfer portal, how many times have we seen somebody commit and then right before the deadline or throughout the year they're thinking, maybe I don't want to. Maybe I don't want to go there. Maybe I want to go somewhere else. Let me just say, just kidding, and commit elsewhere. So actually, just as for right now, Terrell Anderson, the receiver out of Grimsley, 6'3", 184. He's a 4-star recruit, has a 92 rating on 24/7 Sports. Jonathan Paylor, he's listed as an athlete. I always love seeing guys listed as athletes. He's 5'9.5", also a 4-star recruit. And then Ronnie Royal III, another 4-star recruit, also listed as an athlete, also 5'9.5". He is from Alabama. So those are the only guys that I'll really kind of get into right now because I don't want to, start banking on these 3 and the rest of them coming in and really like, oh, let's go. Because you never know. You really never know. But as of right now, I'm very excited to have those 3 guys next year. And of course, we'll be kind of walking through recruiting throughout the year because recruiting never sleeps. The sports world never sleeps, but the recruiting process and recruits committing, decommitting, and whatnot, that really never sleeps. You never know when that's going to happen. I think the official signing day, I think we still have 2 months, is usually in February, 2-3 months until the official signing day. So, like I said, plenty of time. But as for right now, NC State football, we'll get into more about the bowl game and the Pop-Tart Bowl, of course, just because it's so good. Of all the terrible bowl names, to get the Pop-Tart Bowl is great. That's right up there with the Cheez-It Bowl. I mean, the Rose Bowl is iconic, don't get me wrong. The Cotton Bowl is iconic, Orange Bowl and whatnot. But since we've gotten to these ridiculous bowl names, the Pop-Tart Bowl it's incredible. I love it. I love it. We're going to get into that more down the line as, we just come closer to the bowl game itself. But as for right now, pause for a moment and get right into basketball. All right, welcome back in. So, getting into NC State men's and women's basketball, we'll start with the men's team so far. So far, the men's team 1-0 in conference play. Always good to start off with a win. Everyone has barely played any conference games. Most teams in the nation really have only played 1, maybe 2. But they're 5-2 overall. Next game is December 6th against Maryland Eastern Shore. They're in the Mid-Eastern Conference. They're 2-5 on the year. It's a lower D1 conference. I looked on the ESPN projected win, and it already has the Wolfpack at 90-something%. So hopefully they can just take care of business and come away with a nice, easy win before they, it's really nice to start kind of get ahead. Just don't lose any early games in the year, like Villanova losing to every Philly school they've played so far. It's unbelievable. So it's good to just, stack these wins early on. And so when you start the conference play and when you get into the really important months of the year for college basketball, being February, being the early March, and even late January, it's good that you kind of have a bunch of wins already stacked up. So if you lose one later in the year, it doesn't hurt you as much. Because in actuality, what team is going to go undefeated? It's so rare. I mean, all the top teams so far have lost. Just this past week, so many of the top teams have lost so far. I mean, Purdue was number 1 for a week. Arizona's now number 1. How long are they going to last before they pick up a loss? They're 7-0 right now. Give them a week. So far, that number one spot has not been very friendly to whoever holds it at the moment. And even Duke nearly fell out of the top 25 standings. They lost a few games so far. It's it's tough out here. It's always exciting. But it is tough out here to just string along some wins. But the one thing that I've really liked from the Wolfpack this year, the men's Wolfpack team this year, is the four guys in double figures early on to start the year. Casey Morcell, Jaden Taylor, DJ Burns, and DJ Home, all with 12 plus points per game. Horn with 12.6, Burns with 13.6, Jaden Taylor with 14, and Morcell with 14.1 points per game. The one thing that I love, and I love the even scoring. It doesn't have to be like the all one guy scores. Like, distribute the ball. This is what college basketball is for. It's such a different game than the NBA. You don't need one guy. Even if you have one guy, that's not going to help you. You need a team around you. You need to just play the defense and play the college game. Like, be patient, get in the sets. And the one thing that I've done it a few times, and honestly, most college teams do it, that I wish that the NBA would realize is it just benefits you so much. And almost every college team has realized it by now, but just getting the ball across half court and getting into your offense. I mean, you have 30 seconds on the shot clock, which, yeah, it's a decent amount of time, but in actuality, it's only 30 seconds to work with. Why waste your time walking in the back court? If you take enough time, you're going to get across, and you're going to cross half court with you're going to cross half court in 6-7 seconds. And then by the time you get into your offense, you're working with under 20 seconds on the shot clock. What's the point of that? Just get it across. Just hustle across so you can at least get set. If you run in action, now I'm not saying go wildly up tempo and, run and gun and get a fast break every chance you get, but just get it across so you can at least get set and then get into your action, get into your play. Even then, if you want to get into your action quick, then you can, if it doesn't work, you can pull out of it. You can completely reset. You can just run a simple pick and roll to try and recover. You can, get into another action. You don't have to just chuck up a shot at the end if it never works out for you, because you actually have that time because you brought the ball across. I don't know. It's just the little things like that where it just drives me nuts sometimes when, you take your time, just get it across. Just get into your offense. Score all the points in the world. Take a three quick if you're that open. I never hate an open shot. If it's open, shoot the ball. You're on this team for a reason. Shoot the ball. Just you never know what can happen. Maybe you make the three and then you gain all the confidence in the world and then you become a 50% three-point shooter on the year. Who knows? It's a mystery. Who knows? But overall, the men's team has started off very well, 5-2 on the year. Of course, like I said, just keep win as many games early on as you can, because it's not going to get easier. Yes, you're going to become more experienced as the season goes along. You're going to build more of a chemistry with these guys as the year goes along, but so is every other team in the country and in the ACC specifically. So just get all the wins. They've been close to kind of getting top 25 in the country. And with how many teams have been losing and, getting some weird wins here and there and barely sneaking away, you can very easily become a top 25 team in a second and then pretty much stay there the rest of the year, which will bring me to the NC State women's basketball team, who started off the year unranked. They were unranked to start the year and beat number 2 UConn while they were unranked. First episode, I'm just running through the entire thing because I've been thinking about the women's Wolfpack team beating UConn while they were unranked since it happened. It's unbelievable. Put up 92 points against them. Put up 92 points against the Huskies. That's unbelievable. That is unbelievable. And yeah, it's early in the year. I don't care. 92 points. unranked. And that alone, that win alone shot the women's team up to 14 at the time. At the time they were 14. And then it went like this. They were 14th, they were 10th, 5th, and now they're 3rd in the country. While they were 10th in the country, they beat the 3rd ranked Colorado women's basketball team 78-60. It's unbelievable. It's already beat, and yeah, rankings are going to jump around, whatever. But you can say that, and that game was before December. You can say that before December, you beat 2 top 3 ranked teams in the country. I don't think any other team can say that. You beat 2 and 3. You're just missing. You just got to get the one. You just got to just make the schedule yourself next time. But it's unbelievable. I mean, it's truly just something special. I remember seeing it, and I'm just looking. I'm like, oh my god, wait, they just beat UConn. It took me a second to realize they're 9-0 right now, first in the ACC, and they've just been on a tear. The women's next game isn't until Sunday, the 10th. They play Liberty, and their next ranked game as of right now is against Florida State. That's not until 2024. Well, you never know. Again, teams could jump in, jump out, what have you. But as of right now, their next game against a ranked opponent is against Florida State. That's a home game as well. It's on January 4th. And then right after that, they play 15th ranked Virginia Tech on January 7th. So hopefully by that time, bare minimum, we'll keep a top 3 spot. Maybe move up 1 or 2. I'm just saying. It's likely. It's likely in my mind. It's just been so far. It's just been a treat to watch both teams play. I mean, it's college basketball. How can you not love college basketball? How can you not love and just enjoy watching college basketball? I mean, come on. So far, it's been a great year, and I'm so looking forward to the next month. And we do have a bit of a break here and there. And like I said, it's going to be really tough. It's going to be very interesting to really see where all the teams line up and where all the teams stack up once the ACC conference play really gets into the swing of things, when you're really playing just every team back to back to back. I mean, yeah, the new year is pretty much when it starts. Their first, their first conference game is against Virginia. That is New Year's Eve, the 31st. And then from there, rest of the year's conference games. From the 31st on, it's go time. So the same thing like I said for the men's team, you just got to keep stacking wins, and then if you lose 1 or 2 against the ACC opponents, against the Florida States, the Miamis, North Carolinas, whoever, it doesn't hurt that bad because you started off the year on fire. So it's almost upsetting because they just had a game yesterday, but it's almost upsetting that we got wait another week. At least the men's team plays Wednesday the 6th. So we got that coming up. That can kind of hold us over until Sunday. Got the Pop-Tart Bowl later in the year. Let me check the date again one more time because I wanted to see if it's technically a New Year's 6 bowl, but if we're just counting the New Year's 6 bowls as the 31st and the 1st, which is usually, what it is, I don't believe it would count in that sense. But honestly, being the Pop-Tart Bowl, I'd rather play that. So it's the 28th. I was 2 days off. Yeah, it's a Thursday. I knew it was a Thursday. I just forgot what the date was specifically. So it's Thursday, the 28th of December. NC State will take on Kansas State in Pop-Tart Bowl. Last year, they lost in the Duke's Mayo Bowl. So who cares about winning the Mayo Bowl? I'd rather win the Pop-Tart Bowl any day of the week. So just about wrapping up here. One last thing before I let you go for the rest of your day or night, whenever you're listening to this. I said it a million times already. I got to go over my top 5 Pop-Tarts. I saw the NC State football team. They already kind of had a little a little video of I think it was like Pop-Tarts with a smoothie or something, and all the guys were kind of picking out which one's their favorite. I think immediately I heard someone yell, "Where's the brown sugar cinnamon?" So I was like, "Yep, he knows." There's strawberry in there, s'mores, but this top 5 is the correct list. I'll go 5-1, and trust me, I'm a connoisseur. I'm a veteran in the Pop-Tart game. I've had years and years. It's the main breakfast it's the breakfast of champions for my high school and honestly most of college career. But number 5, I'm going cookie dough. Cookie dough, it was solid. It tasted just like cookie dough. There's nothing more you could ask for. I'm a big desserts person as well. I think desserts are even better in the morning. It doesn't make sense, but at the same time, desserts in the morning, you work it off the rest of the day. Eat dessert at night, you're going right to sleep. Can't really work it off. You eat a little, a few cookies in the morning, you have all day to work it off. Also, breakfast is very loose in what you can and can't have in my mind. That's a different topic, trust me. But cookie dough is 5. Cinnamon roll is 4. I have not found cinnamon roll in the stores in a while. Don't know if it's just the grocery stores by me that they haven't had them lately, but I'm getting a little annoyed by it. I haven't had it in a long time because I haven't seen them. I'm getting a little anxious. Bring them back. If you discontinued them, just let me know, but I need them back. Number 3, I'm going blueberry. I know what you're saying. I know what you're thinking. Strawberry is far superior than blueberry. Well, we all have our preferences. Mine is blueberry. I may just have the correct taste buds. Maybe I have the wrong taste buds. Regardless, blueberry is superior to strawberry. And also a lot of just blue flavored foods are better, like the Jolly Ranchers. Blue raspberry. That's the best. The Scooby-Doo fruit snacks. That little blue one that was kind of weird looking, didn't really look like anything most of the time. That was the best one. The blue lemonade. I think the blue raspberry lemonade at Annie Ann's. That's the best lemonade they got. I don't get it often, but when I do, I go to the blue raspberry lemonade. Blueberry Pop-Tarts. My point. Number 2. This is a lot of people's number 1s. Number 2 for me is brown sugar cinnamon. I don't know if this is a little bit recency bias because brown sugar cinnamon is what I had 5 out of the 7 days of the week. Not even just counting waking up, going to school, running late, and even college running late to class. 5 out of the 7 days of the week, my breakfast and even lunch or a snack was a brown sugar cinnamon Pop-Tart. I may be at that point where, that food that you eat so often and you just get tired of it. I may be at that point with the brown sugar cinnamon Pop-Tart, but if someone put one in front of me, I'd still eat it. And I'd still be like, wow, this is delicious. I love this. And number 1 for me, it's always been there. It's always been consistent. I've never gotten tired of it. It's still at its peak for me. The s'mores Pop-Tart. The s'mores Pop-Tart's delicious. It tastes just like s'mores. It tastes just like s'mores. You don't even have to toast it. Even if you do toast it, it's that much better. But at the same time, you don't even have to toast it. And it's that much. It's still delicious. It's so good. It's just so good. I might get one right now. I might do it. It's the best. It's the best. And if Pop-Tart, if you're listening, and I know you are, if you want to send me a box of each, I can do a live review or fly me out to the Pop-Tarts Bowl, and I would love to take a nice bite out of your edible mascot, which is crazy, but awesome to me. My top 5 again. Number 5 through 1. Cookie dough, cinnamon roll, blueberry, brown sugar cinnamon, and s'mores Pop-Tarts. S'mores Pop-Tarts is the best. If you disagree with me, go get them and tell me for yourself. Or if you never even had the s'mores Pop-Tart before, just go get it. Treat yourself. It's delicious. It's fantastic. But that will conclude the very first episode of Believe in the Wolfpack, hosted by yours truly, Luke Nichols. Thank you for joining me, and thank you to Believe Network for, again, just allowing me and giving me this opportunity to host this. I'm so excited. I cannot wait for the rest of the year for basketball especially, but I can't wait for the bowl game as well. But remember, year-round football and basketball coverage, all your recruiting coverage, your number 1 source for anything NC State football and basketball. Thank you for joining me, and we'll see you next time.